Every year, writers across the world, like myself, would create resolutions or would make resolutions and say, oh, this year is my year. This year I'm going to finish this book. This year I'm going to write my first novel. This year I'm going to achieve my goals. And then it's not even February and we're done. We've quit. And it got me thinking because I am like this. There is a book, in fact, there are many books that have been on my mind, and I would tell myself, I would say, oh, this is my year. I'm going to write this book. 2025. I'm going to write this book. But then I end up not writing the book. And this is what, November. And I haven't even started. So, why do we experience this as writers? Because sometimes, I look at other people and I'm like, oh, this person has their life together. This person set a goal and they achieved that goal. There are so many writers that I know personally that would say, oh, this year I'm going to write a book. And they would. And then, they go along the process of publishing and advertising the book. And I'm still stuck. For how many years I've been stuck. I decided to do my research. These are the reasons I came up with, or these are the reasons why writers tend to not achieve their goals. The thing is that if we set vague, dreamy goals instead of clear, measurable goals, what does that mean? Most writers like myself are daydreamers. Like, we live in our head. We dream big, but it always ends up in our head. We never set measurable goals. We never say, oh, this is what I want and this is how I'm going to get there. We just daydream away. For example, the book that I'm supposed to be working on right now, I have daydreamed about this book over and over again. I have created and recreated scenes over and over again, but I haven't actually set measurable goals. What do I mean by measurable goals? Measurable goals are telling yourself that, oh, I am going to write this book in 1 year, but every single day I'm going to show up and plan the book in 2 weeks. I'm going to outline the book. I'm going to outline the stories in 2 weeks. So I'm going to plan the book in maybe 2 to 4 weeks, and I'm going to outline the story in about 2 to 4 weeks, and then I'm going to create the characters in a few weeks. By setting measurable goals, you give yourself deadlines or due dates. You tell yourself that, oh, in this time frame, I'm going to write Act 1. So you would plan the book, you set a time frame, and then you plan, and then you say, okay, the next 3 months I'm going to focus on Act 1. And then you go deeper and tell yourself that, oh, I'm going to write 500 words or 1,500 words every day, depending on what you can do. The goal is not to set vague, dreamy goals, but measurable goals. Measurable goals are goals that have structure. They're not just haphazard. You're not just dreaming. You're not just daydreaming. You are actually doing the work. You're actually setting goals that you know that you can achieve. Oh my god. The next one, and this is something I struggle with a lot, is you focus on the outcome and not the system. Like I said, as a daydreamer, I'm already thinking about the end. Like, oh my god, when I'm done with this book, this is the book cover. Sometimes I actually and this is so funny, I would create a book cover. Obviously I'm not going to use the book cover because I'm not a graphics designer. I'm not great at it. I would create a book cover, put my name, download it, admire it, bask in it, look at it, love it. But then there's no book. I'm daydreaming about, oh, I'm going to sign autographs, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to launch this book. Oh my god, this is the clothes I'm going to wear. I'm daydreaming about the end. But then I'm not taking any step to reaching that end. So we have to build systems. Instead of just focusing on the end, build a system. Say, okay, this is the system I'm going to work with every day. Every day I'm going to make sure that before the end of that day, I am going to write 1,000 words to push this story or this novel forward, to get to the finishing line. The main problem with this is that a lot of us are perfectionists. I have struggled with this. I still do. I'm still struggling with it. I try to be perfect in my first draft. And I cannot be perfect even in my final draft. So we have to put that in mind. We have to tell ourselves that you cannot be perfect. Basically, you cannot be perfect. So you have to set up goals. You have to be disciplined. You have to focus on the system, focus on the journey and not the outcome. It's good to have the outcome at the back of your mind, but don't focus on it, because the more you focus on it, the more you neglect what you actually have to do to get to that end goal. The third reason is that we tend to rely on motivation instead of discipline. Motivation is short-lived. It's not something you should rely on, because it's here and it's gone within the twinkle of an eye. So you have to be disciplined, and this is hard, especially with the whole daydreaming thing. You have to push yourself. You have to tell yourself that today, by hook or by crook, whether I feel like it or I don't feel like it, I have to do the work. You have to build that system and follow through with it. You have to be disciplined with that system. Capish? Another thing is that we set too many goals at the same time. We get too excited about our goals and our dreams, and we set too many goals. For example, myself as a writer, I want to write my first novel. I want to build my portfolio. I want to work on my YouTube channel like I'm doing right now. And I tend to have so many goals at the same time. And niching it down to writing, I want to write a novel. In fact, I want to write about 3 novels in 1 year. Those are big goals. Those are extreme goals. And I want to do all of that in 1 year. I'm not saying it's not possible. It is possible. But the burnout is real. I kid you not, the burnout is real. When you're doing so many things at the same time and you just can't focus on what, you will get tired eventually. And when you get tired, guess what happens? You quit. Imagine trying to build a system of writing 500 words or 1,500 words every day across 3 different projects. You have other things that you have to do. You're probably working, you're probably a student, and you're trying to write 4,500 words every day. Words that even when you're just writing 200 every day, sometimes they don't come easy, and you want to stick to that plan. You don't want to be flexible with it. You will burn out, my dear. You will burn out. And guess what happens when you burn out? You will quit. In fact, you will not say, let me keep 2 and focus on 1. You would say, in fact, I am tired. I don't want to do anyone again. I'm tired. So what I'm saying is that it's okay to have a lot of stories you want to tell, but that's not the problem. What you have to do is focus on 1. Focus on 1. Let's say you have 3 novels or 4 novels that you want to write. Tell yourself that, okay, this year I'm going to write this one. Next year I'm going to write this one. You're not missing out on anything. Time is not going anywhere. As long as the Lord carries, you'll be fine. To the best of your ability, focus on 1 project. It's difficult. I know, oh my God, you have so many ideas that you want to write. Focus on 1. And there's this tip someone gave me a long time ago. I think that was about 5 years ago, and it has stuck with me. Is that when you have multiple ideas clashing with each other, maybe, just maybe, you were meant to combine those projects or those ideas into 1. You underestimate the power of environment. Environment plays a huge role in fact, in your life in general. Just look at it. Have you seen when people are in toxic relationships? Do they look good? They're always a shadow of themselves. They are not glowing. You can't, they're not happy. They can't really do much because of that environment. It's the same with like family dynamics. When you're in a toxic family, you do not grow as a person. Of course, physically you will grow, but emotionally, psychologically, you will not grow. Your environment is very powerful. Even if it's not just your psychological environment or like the people around you, clutter can also affect your productivity. And I have noticed that, like, when I used to live in a place that had so much clutter, I always had headaches. I was always grumpy. I was always irritable. I just did not like my life. If you need to clean your space, your office space, do it. If you need to leave a certain place, if you need to leave like a certain relationship to be happy, my dear, do it. Especially when like you're a writer, your environment affects your mind, and your mind is your power source. Your mind is where you get your ideas. Your mind is where you imagine. When you're not in a happy place, you can't dream. You can't imagine. Your creativity is basically dead. Your environment is very important, and you need to be in a safe space to be able to write or achieve your goals. You forget why you started and you don't make room for grace. I'm just going to give you an example. I've always wanted to write. Like, I've been writing because it's my passion and I believe it's a gift that God gave to me. But adulthood, and I needed money. And I began to look at writing solely on that spectrum. Like, I just wanted money. I was greedy. Okay, I was greedy. And I'm not saying you should not monetize your skills. I mean, why do you have the skills if it's not to monetize? But what I'm saying is that when you just focus solely on that aspect, you become desperate. And then in that desperation, you don't really want to work. You just want the money. So you tend to not give it your all. You do not make room for grace. All I can say is be patient. Be patient with yourself. You are a human being. Okay, you will fall down and you will get up. Huh? We fall down and we get up. You have to be patient with yourself. You have to embrace grace, because in this life you cannot do it on your own. You cannot do it on your own. Okay, that's pretty much it. All I can say, like, just take a deep breath. Okay, it's not that deep. It's not that deep. Okay, don't overwhelm yourself. Be disciplined. Don't depend on motivation. Get up every day and grind, but be flexible about your grind. You're not a robot, okay? And when you fail, don't beat yourself up. Don't say, "Oh my God, I quit. I cannot do this anymore. If I cannot do it again, I'm going to." Because didn't tell me one thing, but whenever I feel as a writer, I used to tell myself, "Oh my God, I'm going to be on a show. I cannot do this again." Don't be like me, okay? Don't be like me. Embrace grace. You can do it, okay? Relax. You got this, okay? See you in my next video, okay?